Hello, hello. Sorry, going on early. So, what I would like to talk about today specifically, oh man, I don't really know where I want to start. Hello, Lazarus Corbeau. I hope I'm saying that right because it looks kind of like French to me. But hello, thank you so much for being here in the branch. Trust the process. Yeah, we don't trust the process here. You know what I mean? Hello, JD Lotus. Hello, Don Lambert. Thank you so much for being here. Um, I've got a lot to show you guys, but I was trying to figure out so that I didn't like show you guys double, I guess. Uh I haven't really gone over a lot of the best friends stuff, nor all of the crimes with animals. And I was quite shocked at what I found in the newspaper archives. So this is just like a trigger warning for anybody. Um, Today's going to be a little rough. I'm going to show you guys specifically. If you guys have ever seen The Fifth Estate, they show it in Canada. They did a fantastic series on MK Ultra and Ewan Cameron. That's like a lot of those old MK videos back in the day. We're going to watch something from them about best friends. We're going to look at a lot of stuff. Hello, Janton. Hello, Lufus. Glymade. Hello, Cat. I'm so glad that you guys are here. So let's go ahead and run the intro and we will get going.
What is the process?
Oh, must we drag all that up again? Listen to my voice, I'm ready, tell it do the devil's work. Listen to my voice, I'm ready, tell it do the devil's work. Listen to my voice, I'm ready, tell it do the devil's work. Listen to my voice, I'm ready, tell it do the devil's work.
Is it old to the death? Better hold your breath in the cell. I prevail. Freddy said from hell, ring the bell when you're finished. I'm a grown man and winning, sacrificing to the demons. No, I love it when you screaming. Commit to your thought, do it now. What you lost in the darkness, you will never wake up so conscious, anxious. Why are you so scared of feeling pain, bitch? Devil in your soul, cutting now and then you'll go. Walk on the dark path, kill and you feel that. Never in your life you gotta rush from the kickback. Mad blank, Glock 10, knock on the neck, man. Hear the whispering, devil taking over them. Listen to my words of Freddy telling do the devil's work. Listen to my words of Freddy telling do the devil's work. All red on me, got the blood up in your hair. Sign your soul to the devil, now you asking is it fair? Listen to my words of Freddy telling do the devil's work. Listen to my words of Freddy telling do the devil's work. All red on me, got the blood up in your hair. Sign your soul to the devil, now you asking is it fair?
Listen to my voice, I'm ready, tell it do the devil's work. Listen to my voice, I'm ready, tell it do the devil's work. Listen to my voice, I'm ready, tell it do the devil's work. Listen to my voice, I'm ready, tell it do the devil's work. Listen to my voice, I'm ready, tell it do the devil's work. Listen to my voice, I'm ready, tell it do the devil's work.
Don't forget, we're literally out here fighting demons, y'all. So let me see. Someone said something about Ireland, which is very exciting. Let me pull up the chat really quick because that is so cool if someone's watching from Ireland. Let me see. Oh, how cool. Yes, from the Republic of Ireland. Hello, Angie. Hi, Turkle Tom. Hello. Hi, Jandon. Let's see. Zero Dark Tony. Okay, well, you don't need to announce that you're not here, like people announcing that they're leaving like it's an airport. But thank you for telling people to hit the like. Let me see. Gaius Leviathan, love finding small channels to support. Great work so far. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Let me see. All right, guys. So now I think I'm just going to kind of be petty up front for the processians out there that I know are watching because, hey, Jay Snyder, hello. And Anna, the inbred Nazi, hello, because I read through the chat and saw that that's what your name stands for. You said that Captain Tugboat gave you that name, right? So that's very interesting. Plane just landed. Well, Jay Snyder, I'm glad that you got wherever you were going. Hello, El Deuterino Process Pool. All right, so I'm not gonna like click through everything, but I'm gonna show you guys this incredible treasure trove that I found just to be petty up front so that like the current people know specifically, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna find you. Let me see. I'm wearing my demon fighting underwear. Hell yeah, leash 23. Me too. Go full Tom Petty, Dana. Okay, so let me show you guys this website really quick. All right, so Utah, best friends animal, right? Because sanctuary society, land grabs. Yeah, because we know that they're buying a ton of property. I have people in my subscribers that tell me that like they basically control the water out there. I have found all the property, all of it, everything. Look at that. Ooh, 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 it's a beaut, ain't it? Hallelujah, amen. Holla if you hear me. We've got all of it. Look at all those acres: 363, 236, 127, 576, 120, 446, 198, 214. Mm, mm, mm. Good Lord, that's a lot of money. I'm gonna need tree fitty. We're gonna need tree fitty for that. Now, I would just, point out that some of these names are very interesting. And this is public record. So people want to sit here and like say that I'm doxing the process. Bite me. Seriously, this is public record. 440, 380, 616, 640. Yeah. And the list goes on and on. But look at how much, 150 right there at the end. So isn't that fascinating? Because now I get to trace the money. And I've already tied it in specifically with a LDS owned bank. So imagine that. Isn't that great? It's all coming together, guys. Yes, Tuggy Tommy called all his trolls a bunch of inbred. Well, that doesn't surprise me. But yes, good gosh, that is a lot of land. Dogtown. There's a famous Dogtown associated with witches in Massachusetts. That's very interesting, Lazarus. It's scary how easy it is to roll over into a small Utah town with money and just take over. Where they get the money to buy all that land? That's what I want to know, JD Lotus. Where they get that money? Straight up. Because you're gonna, once I get through all of that, because it's so much. Oh my God. Because I was looking through the newspaper archives and I was looking up, yes, Anna, the inbred Nazi. I'm just gonna call you Anna. Yes, it is Zion's. Yep. But specifically, I think I was looking up, I think it was Christopher DePire or maybe Christopher Fripp. And, they used to put notices about the estates in the newspaper back in the day. And these people got a lot of like trusts and deeds and wills left to them, like a lot. So there's a lot to unpack. I wish that I had, like 10 people to help me because it's so much information, but whatever. We'll get there when we get there. Let me see. Money donated. Best 2 criminal ways to get money: drugs and services. Oh, it's okay, ivermectin. You're not really missing anything because you're on Twitter. The LDS is everywhere in this story. Yes, they truly are. They absolutely are. That is not an exaggeration. Now, there is one, because I'm going to, again, today is more of, what's going on now. And I know that all of you are not on Twitter. So I want to show you guys specifically one of those records that I found a little upsetting, I guess. If you're on my Twitter, you've already seen it, but let me pull it up. Here we go. Now, obviously, I did block out some of this. However, let's go ahead and take a quick peek because I would like to know why the Best Friends Animal Society specifically has property registered in the state of Utah as a Disney set to this day. And I know there was a movie. I know that there was a movie filmed back in the day. I think ivermectin was the first person actually to point that out to me on Twitter. However, why is it still listed as that? It's kind of weird. Maybe it's nothing. I still think it's weird. And that, all those situs address whatever because they title everything with like their first and last name, which is also super weird. And then there's a couple other really weird names. But I mean, it's millions and millions of dollars. That's not just coming in from donations. You know what I mean? It's just not. That's not realistic. There's no way that they're getting that much money. Now, let me see. What movie? Gosh, ivermectin. Do you remember what movie it was? Hold on, let me see, because I didn't look it up. Let me see. Hold on, because I know that he commented. I think a couple people commented because you guys are so smart, and I can't do Disney. It's a little too much for me. Let me see. It was a movie that Jodie Foster was in. All right, I've got one comment. I know it's here somewhere. Hold on, guys. 1973 Disney film called One Little Indian. The production had many oddities. The cast plane was hit by lightning. Floods occurred. The truck with props caught on fire and was completely destroyed. And Jodie Foster's ankle was sprained. So, it's kind of interesting, right? I know that there are some movies, throughout history that have had some, weird things happen. You know what I mean? So, whatever. Like, what was it? The Wizard of Oz. And wasn't there another movie that had something really weird happen? Was it Rosemary's Baby? I don't know. Let me see. It's an asset, yes. Ashamed to admit 6 months ago, I thought both LDS and Scientology were distasteful but harmless. Boy, I was wrong. There's nothing to be ashamed of, JD Lotus. We're all learning. We're all learning together, right? There's nothing to be ashamed of. Money laundry, yes, they be washing. But what are they washing and how are they washing? You know what I mean? Real estate is one of the most popular money laundering avenues. I've never heard of that movie. 1973, they quote unquote weren't in Utah. Yeah, well, I don't necessarily believe anything that comes out of these people's mouths. I really, really don't. Now, I did a thread on best friends specifically, but I do want to show you guys this video, and I'm going to need you guys to tell me if it's laggy. So we're going to do like the one thing, okay? Because this is the stuff with best friends. I want to show you guys. I want you guys to see it. So I think I have it at the right timestamp. If it's laggy, if it sounds crappy, tell me. So let me pop this over here. And here we go. Okay, now let me make this bigger. Still not good at this whole doing videos thing, guys. Okay, ready? And here we go. Tell me.
Is upsetting. His son wasn't alone. These are pictures posted by parents who say their kids were attacked by pit bulls too. Their message? Your child could be next.
Since my son was killed, there's been 103 Americans killed by pit bulls since my son was killed in 2013. 103.
Is it super laggy? Tell me. It's fine? Okay. Oh, some people are saying it's laggy. One if it's okay. I'm not going to hit play until I see a 1. Did I say it backwards? Am I dirt-during today? Sorry, guys. Okay. No lag. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, let's go.
Just by pit bulls. More than all other breed types combined.
There is often this hysteria about pit bulls.
But there's a counter-campaign trying to wash those pictures from your mind. These images aren't graphic, they're idyllic. This is one of hundreds of videos produced by an influential U.S. animal rights group called Best Friends Animal Society. They're trying to win over the biggest dog market in America, the family. Their message? The pit bull is user-friendly, family-friendly.
Good girl. Come on. Let's go for a walk.
And front and center for Best Friends is Leedy Van Cavage, a lawyer, a lobbyist, and a lifelong pit bull lover.
Why do pit bulls need lobbying? Why do they need an organization? Why do they need a network fighting for them?
Well, I think they are the most misunderstood breed of dog there is, and they're just dogs. They're not werewolves, you know. So there's been so much hysteria involved with these dogs, and so much media hype. Actually, even though I don't like to use this term, it's one place where there probably is a lot of fake news. You know? So
Okay, so that's all we're going to do with that. I will drop this link in here. Now, I just want you guys to see it, right? To see that, like, best friends is real, that they have power, that they have money, that they have influence. Yeah? Because I really feel like, I mean, it's the process to me, and I've proven that. However, you know, these people don't get questioned about anything. And yeah, Leash 23, I have a pit bull. I've only adopted pit bulls, so I know it's an emotional topic. That's why I said, like, it's, you know, it's going to be graphic, but it is what it is. I get that it's, you know, a difficult conversation for people to have, but these people, they are part of what is called the Pitbull lobby specifically. And for certain, I would say, more like grassroots activist groups, especially like animal rights, things of that nature, not like PETA, smaller sort of organizations, and obviously, you know, parents' rights groups that have lost their children in these situations. They consider best friends like a terrorist organization, straight up, almost like the Animal Defense League. Yeah, because I'm going to be showing you guys some stuff that, because I haven't gotten everything else from George from CavDef, but I'm going to show you guys specifically this one interview that came out of the Ed Sanders files, and I'm pretty sure that I figured out who the guy is, and he founded what ended up becoming an extremist animal rights group in the UK called Hunt Saboteurs, and they're pretty intense, but they literally sound like best friends, like the process, you know what I'm saying? It's like almost the exact same thing. I will be doing a Dana wrap-up show today. Oh, okay. Me too. Only pitties. Ooh, Leash 23. I want to see your pitties because, you know, I have a shirt that says, like, show me your pitties, but I don't know where it is. Anyways, I'm going to shut up and move on. Now, let me pull up, since we're talking about it, let's just stay on topic for a second. We're going to look at some really crazy headlines, yeah? And I have these specifically in a PowerPoint. Now, it's not perfect, but it'll do, because I've seen, like, I'm not looking at other people's research, just the comments that I get and the things that I see, and how, like, Maury Terry, which, God, I hope I'm saying that right now, because I know that I've said, like, Terry Maury. I don't know. Anyways, I think I'm through chapter 5. I think that's where I'm at right now. And people still aren't believing him. He's still seen as crazy and as obsessive, right? And obviously no one's questioning the process. And people are like, oh, the stuff with the dogs and the animals. No, no, no. When I looked up specifically dogs skinned, it is completely insane how many newspaper archives came up. Seriously. It's horrific. And it's really interesting because I pulled it up globally, and it's mostly in the US around that time. And then we start to see it spike up in the UK as well. So I do think that that's very interesting. We're not going to sit here and read every single one. I just want you guys to see. Yeah? We got it. There we go. Okay. So here we have some cow killings. Yeah. And it was blamed on a Satanist cult. This is in Texas. And the process was in Texas, guys. I'm just saying. Let's see. Dog skinned in an airport feud. This one was a German Shepherd specifically. And it was hung outside the door of a home owned by a leader of a protest. What was the protest for? People or Planes, an organization of local residents opposed to federal plans to build an international airport near a community within Toronto. Yeah? Here we go. Dog skinned. The dog may have been tortured to death. Yeah? Here we go. Fort Collins, Colorado. Let me move down here. Here we go. Dog was skinned like a rabbit. Anaheim. The dog's blood left a trail from the side of the car to the front porch of the man's house. Yeah? Live dog skinned. Live, whoop. There we go. Live dog mutilated. The rear legs and the right front paw were cut off. Yeah? Dog slayings being probed. 2 dogs skinned there, yeah? More cattle killings. The udders were removed, the tongue sliced off, and something like an ice pick driven into the animal's eye socket, similar to 2 others found in South Texas, yeah? Says the deputy said detectives are checking possibilities that a satanic cult is killing the animals and using the tongue and sex organs in rituals. So isn't this lovely? And look at that. Dog body discovered as a poodle. Yeah? So does this really seem like an extremist, take to genuinely probe? Yeah? Because eventually, once I compile the reports, especially from the Ed Sanders files, I mean, they're literally talking about, and Ed Sanders talks about it too. They were on the beach in California sacrificing animals. That's what the police reports say. Why should we not believe these people? That's what I would like to know. Why shouldn't we? Right? I don't think that it's out of the realm of possibility. And no, I'm not there yet, obviously. But I don't think that it is out of the realm of possibility, specifically that David Berkowitz he's the fall guy. I am convinced 100% that he's the fall guy. Now, why is he the fall guy? I don't really know. But there has to be one, right? Like somebody's got to take the fall for things, yeah? Because I've gotten some really interesting comments and some really interesting DMs, and like some of them are kind of intense and some of them are like a little threatening, and it's fine. I'm not in fear of anything. Trust me, I'm not. I don't care, but I'm just saying. And I've said it from the get-go. There's not a statute of limitations on murder, right? And some of these people are still alive. They are. That's a fact. That's why people are getting really tight. Let me see. I think that people need to be realistic when they adopt a pet. I agree completely. If my memory serves me, the first face transplant was on a woman who had her face chewed up by a chihuahua. That's horrific. I like Terry Maury better. Okay, is that what I call him? Obviously, that's not his name. Yeah, the skinning is, I don't know what they're doing it for. Hello, Meatball. That's okay. No worries. I started early. There was a tatted up pit bull in San Jose I saw. I thought, do they shave its back to expose the Ouija board like a perverted Far Side truck? Wasn't even weird for San Jose. Add-on, that's completely insane that there was a pit bull with a Ouija board tattooed on it. That's completely insane. Look in the Yonkers newspapers in the 70s, lots of dogs. Yeah, they always use dogs for white magic, but there is no such thing as white magic. That's absolutely right. Let me see. Oops, greeting Dana's audience. Thank you. Yep, Fall Guy, Jay Snyder, sacrificing living beings isn't white magic. Yeah, absolutely not. The Finders did goats. I'm not sure about dogs, though. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even, I feel like I've barely even cracked into the ultimate evil. I don't know why. When I was really into true crime, Son of Sam just never did it for me. And I don't know why. I think that it seemed so far-fetched with the dog thing that I never really investigated it, right? And I knew that it didn't make sense to me that there were things going on and like all over the country at the time specifically. But, you know, it's now looking at it and specifically going, okay, like what did he miss? What are we missing here? Money's a big part of it. But we're all going to figure it out. We're all going to figure it out together. I'm convinced because I do not think that David Berkowitz I don't think he acted alone, and I think that there are a couple people that are still alive that helped him. Seriously. Let me see. The media has reported some families in murder-suicides where all family members are slain but the dog left alive. Oh, wow. That's bizarre. That's extremely bizarre, Anthony. God, imagine like being a cop and walking into that. I feel so bad for them. Hello, Coop Films Media. Hello. Before that, Baphomet was just a head or a cat. I never investigated Son of Sam either. I was a kid in New York at that time. Oh, Leash 23, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense if you grew up there. Yeah, it's like New York is so much its own thing. You know what I'm saying? It's such a unique place. I've been there a few times, both as a kid and as an adult. But you know, understanding the boroughs and all that stuff, it can be kind of confusing. I've driven there while it was snowing. I was very proud of myself that I did not harm anyone or, you know, myself, but it was terrifying. It's just listening to it now, he's all over the place, and that's just not feasible, and it's not realistic. And all these other like witness statements where they're seeing other people, and what's up with them seeing them in process uniforms? Yeah, the like grayish blue sort of thing. What's up with that? Seriously. Like, what's up with that? That doesn't make sense to me because I don't even remember what crime he's talking about where he's like going over it. And there's a driver trying to like hold a car door closed, right? And he's talking about how like everybody had the sleeves rolled up. And I'm like, straight up, this sounds like Processian uniforms. Because remember, we read in the court records, I said specifically, I want to know who sewed on those satanic patches. Remember? I said that. Obviously, I don't think I'm going to find it, but I knew that that stuck out in my head for a reason. I think Ted Bundy was part of a larger ring. Lutefisk, have you read Programmed to Kill? Yeah? Let me see. Charles Whitman and Grossman and McGowan and PTK. Ted Bundy was cited. Well, that would be crazy if somebody did. I inferred the back tats on the pit. The visible ink was on its belly. That's so weird, add-on. I still don't understand. Hello, Bruce W. I'm so glad that you're here. I don't know who you are, but welcome. And thank you so much. Let me see. It's sick how he is praised by religious groups. That's another rabbit hole. Who's praised? I know if you ask Andre Rand about Robert Grimston, he gets really angry. Yeah, okay. All right, sorry guys. I just want to make sure I catch up. Whose latest book about David Berkowitz, Bruce W? I'm very curious. The Ted Bundy stuff made me decide to not have any more children after my daughter. I don't blame you, honestly, Dawn. I really don't. Let me see. Berkowitz. How Berkowitz is praised by religious groups? Huh. That's weird. Why? I don't understand why they would praise him. I'm not trying to like waste anybody's time and go off on a rabbit hole, but you guys are telling me very fascinating things. And so I would like to know because these are things that I don't know. I'm literally learning about David Berkowitz now by reading this book, The Ultimate Evil. I think he's done a great job so far. Obviously, there are some other people out there that do not feel the same. Bundy got saved in prison. Yeah, well, a lot of folks seem to have buyer's remorse near the end. You know what I mean? Well, maybe never mind. Ivermectin. Specifically, though, as far as Bundy being like part of a bigger ring, I would highly encourage. Oh, Berkowitz got saved in prison. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Bundy did a murder near BYU, didn't he? Because as the topic of, you know, Bundy being part of a bigger ring, I think that all of this I'm telling you guys, I think that David McGowan was right. If you have not read Programmed to Kill, I cannot recommend it enough. I cannot recommend it enough. Again, I think that these gentlemen specifically just didn't have all the information that they needed. And I do think that the intelligence community specifically took out David McGowan. Rest in peace. But he was on it. Straight up. This was like, American Gladio, a domestic Phoenix program, whatever you want to call it. But all this stuff, yeah, it's connected, right? And it is, because we'll get there eventually. We'll get to Bundy eventually, because I told you guys in the beginning, I was like, oh, well, do we like have to go back through like with a fine-tooth comb? And no, I'm not, pretending to be smarter than anybody. You guys have helped me, literally. Like Leash 23 is like my Son of Sam gal. Jay Snyder, so freaking smart. Like some of you guys are brilliant. And I wouldn't be able to do this without you. So this is all of us figuring it out together. You know what I mean? But the truth matters. And it does. And this is going up for posterity before whoever is running the show turns off the internet button, right? So let's look at some more crazy headlines. Yeah. Small dog skinned and put in a mailbox. Yeah. Isn't that lovely? I think that was that in Florida. I think that was, Winter Garden. Yep, that was in Florida. Oh, look at that. Lack of clues. So the case is over. Want, want. Yeah, imagine that. Skinning's unrelated. Yeah, I bet. That's in Dayton, Ohio. Yeah. Skin dog stabbed first. Let me see. Now down here, this one specifically. This is when it starts popping up in the UK. That is January 1977. 14 whippets. Yeah. And there's obviously much more detail there. I think it's super interesting. That's from 1976. I do think that the timing is interesting. Yeah. And then they're offering rewards for the dog skinners. Yeah. So isn't that a shame that, oh, the poor Satanist. Boo-hoo. We're being unfairly maligned. We just want to worship Satan. And you're being religious extremist if you ask us questions. You're violating our religious rights. Boo-hoo. Boo-boo-boo-boo-boo. Shut up. Shut up. That's where I'm at with it. I already told you guys from the get-go. Don't care. New favorite game, calling out the Satanist. Yeah? Because of the process. That's why. Doesn't make me a Christian extremist. These people have never been questioned. Let's look at a couple more jarring headlines. They were jarring to me when I saw them, and I'm not going to not show them. So here we go. Just so you guys can see that, like, this was literally in the paper. Yeah? Whoop. There we go. Toronto Star. Dog skinned and hung from man's front door. This is the same case from Canada. Let me see. Dog skinning incites revulsion and fear. And right here, ice pick and eye found in body of a ravaged cow. Yeah? So that was the third cow. And, those people thought that it was ritualistic killings by Satanists. You know what I mean? And I think so too. Because the timing of all of this stuff is pertinent, and it really cannot be understated, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, I got to get really deep into the Son of Sam stuff with Mr. Berkowitz. But I'm hoping and, praying that Maury Terry, I hope I'm saying that right, that he went down like the wrong rabbit holes so that I can kind of stick with the right ones. Now, this one I just want to show you guys because this gives me like major PTK vibes when I pulled this one up. I was like, oh, Dave, I wish that you could see this. So this is in the newspaper archives. There we go. Let's pop this back. Okay, so this is from the Salt Daily Star, 1973. Now, right here. If you think all bizarre and ugly events take place in places other than Canada, forget it. In Claremont, Ontario, during a protest against the proposed Pickering Airport, a German Shepherd dog was skinned and hung outside the door of a home owned by a leader of the protest. But then right over here, we literally have Edmund Emil Kemper III of California was convicted in 1964 at the age of 15 of the murder of his paternal grandparents and was committed to a state mental hospital. Yeah, last September, a psychiatric examination revealed he was no longer a danger to society. Ooh, reading this stuff in print is painful. 2 weeks ago, he was charged with the slaying of his mother, her best friend, and 6 college co-eds. Yikes. That hasn't aged well, has it? Yeah, that has not aged well whatsoever, because I was listening to Program to Chill, and he had, gosh, I think her username is she like named herself an Essalon professor on Twitter. So smart, so freaking smart. But they were kind of breaking down specifically what was going on, I think, in San Jose at the time, with other places like Essalon, because Essalon was not the only one. But they were specifically focusing on, just like Jolly West, right? Because Jolly West wanted to do the Violence Prevention Center. Yeah, let's not forget that. He wasn't the only one, though. There were other places that were getting funding and working with youth that were at risk, right? And helping them. Kind of like how the process had presented itself, right? Because that is what they were saying, specifically. Before they came over here and started doing all of their LARPing and changing their name 30 times and, you know, trying to clean up their image with the help of the Vatican, that's what they were doing. And you see that there's all these ties to the birth of the term serial killer, even though there was a term, technically it was sequence killer. So the FBI thinks that it was a big win, them coming up with that. In my personal opinion, I think that they were just trying to validate their existence, quite frankly, because I think that the FBI is trash, but I think that all of the 3-letter agencies are trash. Now, and if anybody, well, I don't think that anybody here in particular would work for a 3-letter agency. I'm not saying that the government, like, everybody's trash. I have to clarify these things because people are so freaking delicate, okay? I'm just saying, like, not everything is bad, not everything is good. Even though I'm always going to have fun calling out the Satanists. But in general, you guys know what I mean. But people have been really touchy lately, and I don't want anybody coming at me because I don't want to hear it, okay? Now, let me pull up this guy because I want you guys to see this, because I did not know about these crimes at all. I would have never heard of them. Tony, shut up. That is so corny. Seriously, that's a FBI full-blooded Italian. Like, seriously, that is so cheesy. I can't even go back in the chat because I will literally keep you guys here for hours. Seriously, let me look and just make sure that nobody left anything super crazy in here. Stuff on Jack Ruby. Let me see. Yeah, the John Bonet stuff, you know. Yeah, we'll talk about that eventually, because that's gonna... I don't want to talk about that right now. We're not there yet in the timeline, but yes, absolutely. Now, I want to show you guys specifically one of the reports from the Ed Sanders files that I told you I think I figured out who they were, because they specifically talk about this crime, this one crime, and you guys are going to see it for yourself. But when I looked it up, it's weird. There ends up being 4 murders, and then it just completely disappears from the papers. Nobody ever gets charged. Nothing happens. And there were multiple people that were murdered. And it's interesting how the descriptions of the people who did it change. So I don't think that this dude was necessarily lying. Obviously, there's not really a way to prove it, but I thought that it was kind of tragic. Because nothing happened. There's nothing in the papers. There's literally nothing. It stops I think 3 years later when they're looking. But this guy specifically is talking about Robert de Grimston. And this is the guy, John Prestige. I think that it's the right guy who started a Hunt Saboteur, which basically is like an eco-terrorist organization, which is what some people think the Best Friends Animal Society, aka the Process Church of the Final Judgment, is as well. So let me go ahead and pull this up. Okay, so obviously I have this all popped up here. So there we go. So this is from July 17th, 1971, John Prestige. I'm not going to read through all of this, but apparently he was a journalist specializing in information regarding black magic. He claimed to have a lot of information about the process, and more specifically about Mr. de Grimston. Apparently, he was hanging out with Oswald Moore, Robert de Grimston's father. And then there is an Englishman. Actually, no, I think... Is it Ian McLaren that founded Hunter Saboteurs? I don't know. I'm going to show you guys. These people, and they're probably making up their names. You know what I mean? We already know that. But specifically right here, they're talking about an old lady being murdered under suspicious circumstances sometime in 1971 in Bournemouth in northwest England. And that subsequently the police took in custody, seemingly for blood analysis, McLaren's ceremonial knives. Prestige says that there is indication that the murder of the old lady in Bournemouth was undertaken by a group known as something like Fraternitas Lucifer, which is supposed to be an international group of Satanists, including the process. And the second page. Prestige also claimed to have a list of 300 Satanists, names and addresses located in California, and the list was for sale. Wonder how much he was charging for that, right? Sounds kind of like with Manson and Polanski and John Phillips, whatever weird tapes were out there. Yeah. Prestige also made the claim as of early July 1971 that Robert de Grimston was visiting Los Angeles, conferring with the Church of Scientology, or was reachable there. Bum, bum, bum. Imagine that. Yeah? Gotta wonder if he was. Now, this is the woman, Miss Rose Lively. So she was 73. Yeah? She was stabbed to death in her home. Hezekiah Thomas, he was 87, died of shock and asphyxia. And right here, Thomas Stanley James, he was 79, severe head injuries after being bound and gagged. And right here, a new and vicious type of killer is stalking Britain. And then over here, this is what makes me think that this dude was not lying. Now it's looking for a cuddly blonde. Yeah? Isn't that kind of weird? The old lady was found stabbed to death in her home 9 days ago, the victim of a maniacal attack, according to the police. Yeah? Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Running around killing the elderly. Yeah? And then right here, I thought this was weird that they are using atomic energy scientists to help look for the man who stabbed an old lady to death. Yeah? They seem pretty confident right there. You know what I'm saying? I just thought that was kind of weird, right? It literally, and then there's just nothing. And then there's nothing. Nothing happens. They don't arrest anybody. Nobody gets caught. It just ends because I looked up her name. That's why her name is highlighted. I was like, okay, that's her. It matches the description that they gave, but I don't know. Let me see. Fraternitas Lucifer equals Brotherhood of Lucifer. Hunt Saboteurs were People acting to stop fox hunting with hounds. Lucius Trust vibes. Hezekiah was the witch in Lovecraft's dreams in the witch house. See, this is why I need y'all smarty pants out here that know more of the occult stuff. You know what I mean? Cuddly blonde Karen De La Scarier. Stop it, ivermectin. You stop it right now. Let me see. Is the Brotherhood of Lucifer also known as the Luciferian Brotherhood, or are they a different organization? Hello, Mr. Crow. Thank you so much for being here. Let me see. Dare, okay. Talking kids into snitching their parents out for smoking funny smelling cigarettes. Yeah, isn't it crazy that the government can like propagandize everybody to literally just work for them for free, because that's all they're doing. People get that, right? Like, you're not really doing a service, you're just doing their job. But I mean, that's just my 2 cents. I'm not trying to help them out. Now let's go ahead and look at the hunt saboteurs. So yeah, no, this is John Prestige. It's not Ian McLaren. Yeah, let's look at it, because I thought it was interesting. Because they start off, philanthropic enough, animal rights enough, you know what I mean? And then it's like, nah, they end up turning into basically a terrorist organization. So, or domestic terrorism, whatever you want to call it. I really don't care. We got it. Very good. Okay, so this was the first article that I could find. Training to sabotage fox hunts, yeah? A young man who hates fox hunting yesterday picked the first of his supporters, who, with himself, will be trained to sabotage meets. 21-year-old John Prestige, son of a London company director. And it is considered an anti-blood sports group. Yeah? Over here. They obviously start causing problems very quickly. Now, this article I found very interesting, because right here, their secret weapon, yeah? Some pocket-sized article designed to, okay, hold on. Let me see if I can zoom in, like right there, the third paragraph down, yeah? Showed me a prototype version of the instrument, a light, compact, pocket-sized article designed to throw a pack of hounds into chaos without harming a hair on their heads. We have already proved its effectiveness on cats and rats, but we have to prove that it works in the field. Isn't that interesting? Yeah? A similar device is already on the market, but it costs about 10 times as much, and it's not so portable. So what the hell were they using to send a pack of hounds into chaos, yeah? And then here they are meeting up with the Young Liberals, the League Against Cruel Sports, having a protest, yeah? Whatever. This is because these people have time. And this is them saying that they have saved many animals from a barbaric death, yeah? Okay. What's the cost, though? Because there's always a cost. And right here, as far as chemical spray, it says, we took care not to hurt or shock horses and children. Okay, weird take. We are non-violent. Our aim was to demoralize the hunt and to show that the sport is barbaric. A demonstration such as this must be well organized, and this particular hunt has not heard the last of us. Okay, well, whatever you say, bud. Sounds like a terrorist organization to me, quite frankly. What the hell are they using that's gonna like send dogs into like a pack of hounds into a panic? You know what I'm saying? And how do you know like what effect that's gonna have on humans specifically? Hey, Echo Cat, what's up, man? Let me see if this will pop up over here, because I owe Echo Cat. Oh, you're not showing up. Dang it. Well, if you do pop up, I'm gonna throw you up on the screen, because Echo Cat is like my ride or die on Twitter, man. Echo Cat, after Leah Ramini blocked me, like, Echo Cat has shared every single thing of mine, has tagged Leah in it. Like, straight up, good looking out. I appreciate you very much. Now, I think, trying to think if there's anything else that I want to show you guys. God, it's already been almost an hour, and I feel like I've literally showed you nothing. We looked through that. Oh, I know what I want to show you. Let me open up my other PowerPoint really quick. Because if you're on my Twitter, like, great. I appreciate you so much. And you've seen it. But I still have to show it here. So actually, I think I have a couple things to show you. Also, I am 99.9% sure, and I am. Fight me about it. Fight me. But I found Mary Ann de Grimston's mother. I am 99.9% sure that I have nailed it down. I don't have a photo of her. I don't have any of that. But I have a ship manifest that's very weird, and it times up almost perfectly with her seeding just enough, like a hint of disinformation in there, you know what I mean, to make the story plausible. But it's her. It's her. I'm telling you, it's her. Now let me find which one this is, because I have like 10 PowerPoints now, which is, not complicated for anybody else but me. Hold on one second, guys. Let me find it. Oh, no. Where are we? Are you freaking kidding me? I know I didn't delete it. If I deleted it, then I'm screwed, right? I'm super screwed. But I know that I didn't. Oh, I know where it is. Hold on. Okay, let me... There we go. I've really got to get a mouse. Yeah, I need to get a mouse, because then this won't be so freaking complicated. I don't like having to do this touch screen thing. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Hello, P. Thomas. Hello. Them's fighting words. What's fighting words? I found a connection between Roy Cohn and Mary Ann. Ooh. Yeah? Interesting, P. Thomas. Because that would bring it to the current day. So that's very fascinating. That machine could have produced electromagnetic frequencies to make the dogs go mad and attack. Look at that video of Dr. Delgado of Spain using the practice to pacify enraged bulls. Thomas Corbally. Interesting. That is very, very interesting. Let me see. Now, let me show you her mother. Let me show you her mother. Because it's her. It's her. I'm telling you, it's her. Okay. And if you're not on my Twitter, maybe you haven't seen this photo of Mary Ann before. So, but let's take a peek real quick. And we're off. Okay, so right here, see? We know that she was born, quote unquote, in Scotland, right? Effie, Janet, Effie, Mary, Margaret. They're literally going back and forth. That first one's 1932. The second one's 1933. Now, there is a man the second time. But you don't see him ever again. Ever. And if you see in 1932, it says, she's 2 years old. Are they going to be specific? I don't have a birth certificate. However, if you guys remember when we were going through those court records, that guy, it was Ronald Maxwell from the Sunday Mirror, right? He said that he saw her birth certificate. But obviously, he doesn't have it anywhere. And if that's her, then that's her mother, Effie. So I'm pretty sure that I found her. But yeah, there's Mary Ann. So that was very exciting for me, because I do think that it's her. Because, no, I'm sorry. John McLean and Jean Taylor, that's not her parents. Permanent resident alien. Yeah, that's not her parents. And there's all of her silly name changes. And right up there, she literally has 2 names. Good for her. That seems legal. Yeah, that seems legit. She's not a total witch. Now, hold on. Somebody said, in a way that would connect his other... So, in a way that would connect his other clients. Yes, Zero Dark Tony, it absolutely would. That's why I say, this is like a web of nightmares. But this all runs through to the current day, which is why I think that certain people are really getting their panties in a twist about this stuff. It is what it is. It's not my problem. Let me see. Something happened with a snake. I'm not going to read through all of that, but I do. I used to love snakes. I used to have snakes. When you said for someone to fight you over finding her mama. Oh, yeah, yeah, come and fight me. That's her, man. I'm telling you, that's her. There's no photos, but look at how hard it was to figure out who the hell she was here. You know what I mean? That's her mother, straight up. Because that's just like a little bit of disinformation to throw people off of the track. Not too much. Just a little bit, though. Let me see. All right, you guys are talking about Franklin P. Thomas. I'm going to come back and I am going to read deeper into your comments because I have not confirmed it yet, but let me show you the lawyer who incorporated specifically the process because there is a suspicion, and it is just a suspicion, but I will be able to figure it out very soon. Specifically, that the process's lawyer, Mr. Tommy Baumler, who Timothy Wiley, like, he's like, oh, he was, just kind of fat and weird and whatever. And it's like, okay, that doesn't really make sense to me. But there is a possibility, I'm working on it, that Thomas Baumler's father was part of the OSS. Yeah. Because apparently they are, New Orleans aristocracy, whatever. But if he is, obviously that's going to make things a little bit more juicy. Yeah. And maybe I'll show you guys Savundra, just so people don't forget. And if people know more about Savundra specifically, because he's a sus lord as well. Hold on. Where is my slide with the freaking lawyer? There he is. Little pudgy face. Okay. So let me pull up this. And some of this information I got out of Timothy Wiley's, I think, third autobiography, where he speaks in like the third person and he identifies himself as mine host because these people are Nazis, right? We know that. We know that now. That was not just a thing with Marianne. You know what I mean? So there we go. All right. So Mr. Tommy Baumler. And that's him in high school. This is him in law school. Let me see if I can zoom in there. Yep. So there he is right there. I love finding these old photos. It really does, bring things back to life. You know what I mean? Over here, so Mr. Baumler, don't slide over. So he founded the Louisiana Psychoanalytic Association. Yeah, which is super weird. Super weird. It was founded January 29th, 1965. And this is a little snippet from Wisdom of the Watchers. In process parlance, Tommy Baumler was an archetypal JS of the Jehovah Satan God pattern, which of course neatly resonated with Mary Ann's similar pattern, blah, 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 blah. Apparently, he boasted of his priesthood in the American Orthodox Catholic Church, and he claimed to have some revelationary experiences with hypnotism, which naturally was of great interest to Mary Ann. And right here again, it says he evidently spawned from old New Orleans aristocracy and was quite a racist. Yeah, apparently he was quite a racist, which, I mean, they're Nazis. I don't really know what people expect. Now, this is the only newspaper that I could find him in. And I just thought that it was very interesting. They identify him as a white millionaire criminal lawyer. But you just don't find anything anywhere else. So I am hopeful. It would make sense to me not being able to really find anything on him if his father was in the OSS. That would be really, really interesting to me specifically. Let me see. Oh, I've got some new people popping in here. That's very exciting. They're so derpy. I don't know if you guys are talking about the Nazis being derpy. I call DARPA derpa. So if anybody ever hears me say that, that's what I'm referring to. Oh, you guys are still talking about the snakes. Okay, I love that you guys are having conversations. That's what I was going to ask about the lawyer. Glad you touched on that. Oh, you're welcome, Jay Snyder. I'm glad that I did too. Let me see. Who is this? Luke McKee. Hello. The Nazis have a long history of fighting Aleister Crowley worshippers, the Beast of Berlin, and Mussolini kicked out Crowley from the Abbey. after his family incest orgies. Ugh, gross. But are they like Nazis or German Nazis? I don't know. I don't know what they are. Let me see. David Ferry, AOCC Bishop. Yeah, I have a file from the Ed Sanders stuff on David Ferry, but haven't really cracked into that. How many Gnostic Catholic Mass rituals have you done? I have. Oh, well, that is really intense, Luke McKee. I don't particularly want to read that out loud, but that is very interesting, and I don't doubt it. If Essalon's science shows up before the Enlightenment, that shows you who's in it. Some members of the SS were in the Thule Society that is affiliated with the OTO, but Hitler kicked out OTO org members. See, guys, like you remember a while back in the beginning of this journey when I said eventually, like, we're going to come back and we're going to, like, talk about the Nazis and the SS and the occult. Like, see? It's not just me being like crazy and conspiratorial like some people would like to paint it. This is just history. You know what I mean? And it's dark, but it is what it is. I think there's one more thing, and then I'm going to stop because I think that Tony's going on soon. Hold on 2 seconds. Is it Wiley that I wanted to show you? Maybe it's Wiley. Oh, yes, it is Wiley that I wanted to show you guys. Okay, so let me make this map a little bit bigger. So, you know, we confirmed that Wiley's mom was intelligence. We did that a long time ago. That checks out. Now, what I decided to do specifically was I decided to look up the address of where the de Grimstons were living, where Dianetics was being taught, and where Wiley lived, right? Let's just see how close all of them are. Yeah, because remember, Robert de Grimston was literally living like a minute walk away. You know what I mean? So now you are going to get to see how close, and obviously like it's a little bit different, but you guys are going to get to see how close, and obviously with this traffic, but where Timothy Wiley was, yeah? Because I think that this is interesting to consider the distances of these people in between all of this stuff. Because specifically where Robert de Grimston was living, that place was bougie AF. And where Timothy Wiley's mother was buried is the city of London, in London, which is like, I'll show you guys a picture of it. This is like, ain't nobody getting buried there, right? You have to be the creme de la creme to be buried there, period. It is what it is. This is like upper crust. But okay, so right here. So that specifically, that's how close. And granted, keep in mind, that's showing that there's traffic, right? But a 10-minute drive if they have a car. And these people were rich. You know what I mean? They were rich. If you had a bike, it would be 17 minutes. Yeah? But they were not far. They were not far at all. They were very, very close. And then I found another picture of the DW view packs that his mother made. Just that way people could see. I was trying to get some of that stuff a bit more organized. I also found this really interesting ad that she had put out. This was in 1978, I believe. Specifically talking about, you know, film strips for architecture, meteorology, and environmental subjects. But that is her, Diana Wiley. That is the mother. Now let me show you guys the last thing. I'm going to show you the city of London because, like, I have a little slide with the London stuff because I'm just a hillbilly in the woods, right? Like, I'm obviously not British upper crust or anything like that. And normally I really wouldn't even care about these things. But once you sit back and look at it all, it is very fascinating. Because I didn't know that the city of London was a thing. I had no idea. So let's go ahead and pull this up. Here we go. Okay, so right there, the square mile city, yeah? The city of London. Look at how tiny it is. Stupid tiny. Stupid tiny. Now, right here, Kensington and Chelsea, yeah? That's where the de Grimstons lived. That's where a lot of these people lived, or they were very, very, very close. Because I don't know if you guys watched me on Johnny Vedmore when we did the news paste, but this was like the first article that he found in the Sunday Dispatch specifically, where it's this woman and she's talking about Scientologists looking into her house. And they're talking about getting processed. And it just doesn't sound like Scientology. Well, I mean, it is Scientology, but it sounds like the process specifically. Because she says it's all these young people doing this sort of like group therapy, yeah? I just thought it was weird. And right here, who is this? Oh, this is from de Grimston's house to where that lady lives is a 15-minute walk right there. So that lady in that newspaper talking about the Scientologist peeking into her house, yeah, that was a 15-minute walk. It was 0.7 miles from Robert de Grimston's house. So it's not completely, not completely out of the realm of possibility that was them. Because apparently there was a young Canadian there. I haven't been able to like figure out who they are, but I'm just saying, not just anyone can move there into these boroughs. You got to know somebody who knows somebody. You got to know a guy that knows a guy. You know what I mean? And I guess because I do have a couple new people, I'll just show you guys really quick. That way you guys can see. I swear this is the last thing I'm going to show you, and then I'm freaking signing off. Okay, here. Right there. There we go. That's how far Robert de Grimston lived, specifically from the first time that I could find anything in the UK about Dianetics, yeah? Look at that. 0 hours and 0 minutes. They were basically living next door. Yeah? That's not a coincidence. That's definitely not a coincidence. You know what I mean? Now let me see. There's, ooh, super posh. Yes, very posh. Very pinkies up. Let me see. Nice find. I've never heard of Mary Ann's mom before. Thank you, Pete Thomas. Yeah, I'm trying to like factually prove who these people are. I've got Robert de Grimston's parents in an older episode. It was Robert de Grimston's grandfather on his mother's side. He was a cat meat vendor. Yeah, and he died suddenly. So isn't that interesting? But I've traced his family, Robert de Grimston's family. They were involved in opium trafficking, his grandfather and his father, specifically in China. It's pretty fascinating. Let me see. London is a sister city like the Vatican and Washington, D.C. Lord Mayor. Scientology is an OTO spinoff, just like modern Wicca. Yeah. As far as the... Wait, what did that say? Hold on. If you disrespect the guy who wrote the poem, the special OTO. Well, that's a lot of stuff. I don't want to read all of that, but Tony, you're promoting yourself in my chat. Come on now. What did he say he was? FBI? What did you say you were? Full-blooded Italian? Get out of here. Next time I'm gonna drop my link in the chat. I wonder who their landlord was. P. Thomas, that's a very interesting question. Specifically, though, as far as whatever, stop it. Fine, you win. The opium wars are fascinating. Many of the same tactics used today. Yeah, no, these people are like OG as far as the opium stuff. You can leave it in there. I'm gonna put it right there on the screen. There you go. That way people can see it, even though you tried to delete it. I'm gonna let them promote. It's fine. Anyways, the occult stuff. I'm not hating on anybody. If it's your first time here, I'm so glad that you're here. I just have to like put it out there specifically. I don't focus on the occult aspect. It's not completely irrelevant to me, but I believe that it's a distraction. And I do. I think that it is absolutely a distraction. Because yes, while L. Ron Hubbard certainly did dabble And at one point, I did focus on and fully agree that Scientology, Dianetics, that it was rooted in, occultism. And I mean, I still, Scientology is like corporate Thelema, right? But specifically, L. Ron Hubbard is intelligence. That's what he is. He's an intelligence asset. You won't hear that very many places, and it's certainly not of my doing. That was a conspiracy theory that I had. And some Scientology whistleblowers, the McGlarrys, which I have a couple videos on them, they've proven that. But L. Ron Hubbard was absolutely an intelligence asset. He was involved in Operation Gladio. He was involved in some of the stuff that was going on in Africa, which, Dr. Savundra specifically, who was working with the process, he was part of the Gray Forces, right? But like, he liked the process. He was doing stuff down there before Kwame Nkrumah was thrown over. You know what I mean? So like, they're technically also involved in some of that stuff as well. It's all just really bizarre, but I don't focus on the occult stuff. I don't. And I'm glad that there are people who are more knowledgeable in it. And I'm always willing to hear people out. Because I got to focus on what I can prove. Because you can prove it. You can absolutely prove it. But this is literally why this stuff has been so hard to figure out. Because they do distract people with that. And I'm not saying that someone's more distractible or, more prone to being distracted, anything like that. I don't mean it like that at all. Watch my first episode where I'm like fully on board with the occult stuff. And then as I meet the McGlarrys, and then I'm like, oh my God, you guys, like, and I'm freaking out, right? And remember, like, I tell people that, like, the McGlarrys had their stuff behind a paywall because I was just, like, freaking out, actively having a stroke on the screen, even though it's never been behind a paywall. And I had to keep coming on and correcting myself because I was basically having a stroke during every single stream because my brain was overloaded with information. But don't care. Don't care about the occult stuff. It's not my focus. I absolutely appreciate it. And again, this is active research. You're here with me. I want your help. Everybody's involved. But that's not the angle that I go with here. Occult is secondary to intelligence. Occult is the method, but the question of why. Yep, that's absolutely right, my friend. Hail, brethren. Hello, hello. Okay, guys, I have certainly ran long enough. Hey, hold on. Soil Lodge, my friend, I'm so glad that you're here. Hello, and tell your old lady hi. Let me see. The occultism is definitely not a distraction, but it's good to have a focus on what you're focusing on. Yeah, like I said, guys, I'm not trying to hate on anybody at all. I would never do that. And there are some stuff that you guys bring up that, like, I wouldn't even catch. It's a group activity, guys, and I appreciate your help. And I don't want anybody to feel blown off. You know what I mean? I want to be transparent with you. That's not the angle I'm focusing on. I want to find out where these people come from. Yeah. Because I'm going to try to tie up some loose ends on the back. I'm waiting on the rest of the Ed Sanders files because I'm supposed to be getting a history of Mr. Robert de Grimston, which I'm very excited about. Is it going to be accurate? Don't really know. Is Tommy Baumler, is his father part of the OSS? Whew, that's going to open up all kinds of doors, right? Because we know that Tommy Baumler specifically is kind of tied into JFK. Yeah. So that's going to get super weird. Oh, who else? The assassination of MLK. Yeah. Because did you guys know that there were rumors out there that Sirhan went to a process meeting? And that there are rumors and newspaper reports out here that maybe the process was involved in the assassination of Martin Luther King. Yeah. We would think that these things would be able to be figured out, right? After all this time. But if Tommy Baumler specifically, if his dad was part of the OSS, I mean, we can nail some things down pretty quickly. But once I get the history about Robert de Grimston, we're going to work through all of that. And then hopefully we're just going to kind of move forward because I want to finish reading The Ultimate Evil. It's going to take me a little while. And I want to figure out some of this Son of Sam stuff Because, again, I don't think that David Berkowitz acted alone. I think that Robert DeGrimston was running a separate operation specifically, and Mary Ann was running a parallel operation. It is what it is. But guess what? You know, there's no statute of limitations on murder, guys. So come at me. Come at me. No one's going to scare me. Just so you guys know, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but I've gotten some really weird comments and I've gotten some really weird messages. I don't feel threatened. I'm not worried. But I'm just letting you know. No one's going to scare me. If I am in danger, try a little bit harder, I guess. I don't really know. I don't have anything to lose and I don't care. I don't have kids. You know what I mean? So do what you got to do. Because I'm going to figure this out the best that I can. And again, this stuff is going up for posterity. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I'll end on this note. You should have taken me out earlier, because now it's going to be really obvious if someone tries to do anything. Because the truth matters at the end of the day, and I don't get paid for any of this. And there are other people that will certainly, like, take the torch if, you know, something were to happen to me. And again, I'm not trying to be dramatic, guys, but I've literally gotten, like, some of the most sus comments and messages the past couple of days. So, it is what it is. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and please go watch Zero Dark Tony, where apparently he will be doing a video on me.